Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fearcast. My name is Elijah, and I'm here with
Elisa,
Kevin,
Joe,
Devin.
And today we'll be discussing about fear. More specifically,
how do you define fear?
exactly.
Okay, we're gonna each go around and basically define what we think of fear. And for me, it's just like an uncomfortable feeling whenever something just comes up, I guess.
For me, I would define fear as like a feeling that. I define fear as a feeling of uneasiness.
I define fear as a negative emotion that normally raises your heart rate or makes your stomach upset.
I would define fear as a feeling associated with being uncomfortable and scared.
I would define fear as something that makes you kind of sweaty and it makes you not want to do a certain thing because of the fear blocking you from doing it. Makes you scared.
We asked a few interviewees some few questions, and the first question was, how do you define fear? I interviewed my girlfriend, and she said that fear is just a really scary feeling.
I interviewed my good friend who's a psych major, and she defined fear as a feeling of discomfort and vulnerability in something that makes you feel extremely uncomfortable.
I interviewed my mom, and she said that for fear, it really just makes her nervous and just something that she doesn't want to look at all. So
I interviewed my roommate, who is a psychology major, and she said fear is a feeling that consumes you when an event or memory has effects on you.
For me, I interviewed my dad, and he defined fear as a thought that just scares you.
The next question we asked our interviewees was, what strategies do you take to help you cope with your fears? And my interviewee, the psych major, said, not putting myself in situations where that fear is present.
Wait, what? So strategies that my mom said that she uses to cope with fear is, since hers is spiders, she just likes to kill them and get them out of her vision. So that's how she deals with it.
My roommate said that the strategy she uses is taking a step back and giving herself time to refocus before connecting with others again.
For me, my dad's afraid of poverty, so he copes with his fear by working more hours and more jobs.
That's filthy. That's hard. My interviewee said that she normally screams and kind of runs from them because she's scared of spiders, and so she runs.
So now we're going to talk about what fears we all have. One of my fears is also spiders, similar to my mom. Spiders and heights are kind of my two big thing. When I'm up high on something, I start to get a little bit dizzy. My legs start to shake a little bit. So those are just my two fears. Yeah.
My fears are spiders as well, and I also hate snakes. I don't like them. And I also have a fear of going in the ocean. I do not go past my knees.
For me, my fear is heights. For me, heights is just terrifying. I was on a near cliff one time. I just couldn't go near it. I was just too scared to look out, so I just stuck near some trees.
For me, I'm not really fully sure what I'm scared of. I know I am, but I'm just not sure what.
If it were to sit right in front of you.
Scared of being broke. I'm scared of a lot of things sitting right in front of me. Lots of people are. I mean, what? You got an octopus right in front of you. Are you not going to be scared? A bear? A cougar? A lion? I'd be a little worried if I seen a zebra in front of me. Because you don't see zebras around at all. You're not going to be a little worried?
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
All great points, Devin. All great points.
Thank you.
Some of my two main fears are snakes and bees. Actually, it's quite a funny story here. Back when I was younger, I was out camping on the San Juan Islands, and I stepped into a beehive, and I got swarmed and got stung like 25 times. So, yeah, if you ever see me running and there's nothing around me, it's because I saw a bee. So, mostly like wasps and yellow jackets, though. I don't really care about them bumblebees.
Wow.
Another question we added to our podcast was, how does fear affect your life? For me personally, if I were to see a spider, I just scream, scare everybody else in the house. Snakes, I just don't go near them. And a lot of my friends like snakes. My boyfriend wants to have a snake in his house, and I can't do that. Ocean-wise, I'll still go to the beach. I can't go very far in the water. But neither can my sisters, so I'm not the only one.
For me, heights are just. I just can't I can't speak apparently. For me, heights don't affect my daily life, but I can't do certain things like ladders. If they're just really high, I don't want to go up on them. They're just terrifying. I can't hang up Christmas lights on our house. That's just terrifying. But other than that, I don't really face it too often.
Normally how fear affects my life, I think it goes pretty deep because I used to have like stage fright, but that was just because I was afraid of getting laughed at or something like that. So it really wasn't being scared of talking. It was just the result of it until it goes correctly. So I feel like most of the time how I deal with fears or like how it affects my life is kind of not heavy because I just kind of face them or ignore them. Normally how fear affects my life, I think it goes pretty deep because I used to have like stage fright, but that was just because I was afraid of getting laughed at or something like that. So it really wasn't being scared of talking. It was just the result of it until it goes correctly. So I feel like most of the time how I deal with fears or like how it affects my life is kind of not heavy because I just kind of face them or ignore them.
I would say that I don't really let fear dictate my daily life, mainly because, my two main fears, bees and snakes, aren't really present in my daily life. But I would say when I get put in certain situations where those fears are present, it definitely changes the way I think about the situation. So I would say that's how it dictates.
Yeah, I think the way that my fears affect my life are pretty similar to Joe's. They're not very present. Like, they're things that I can avoid. Heights, I usually just don't, put myself in a spot where I'm on the edge of something or I'm really high up. And then for spiders, if there's a spider, I just try and, leave it alone or leave it do its thing. But usually I can avoid them. But when they are around me, it is not good, so...
And that just about wraps up our Fearcast. Thank you all for listening. Hope you all enjoyed. And if you do, remember to click that like button down below to let us know you enjoyed our podcast. Cheers.